Hi, I'm Brian with Bees Knees Carvings. Welcome to International Association of Wood Carvers. Hang out with us today while I carve a Santa Claus.
Project Runway All Stars. Next on Bravo.
Find all the right buttons.
All right, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the International Association of Wood Carvers. Today is Saturday, the 2nd of September, a little bit after 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today is the opening day of college football, so I appreciate you all taking time out to come and watch wood carving instead of wasting time sitting in front of the TV watching a football game. Don't forget that the Braves will be playing baseball later tonight. If you're interested in that, make sure you tune in. That was for you, Dave Stetson. Thanks for taking time out to come in and join us today. Today on our meeting, we've got a special guest coming to us all the way from California. We've got Mr. Brian Doty that's going to be coming in. He's going to do a demonstration for us today on carving a Santa ornament. As the weather starts cooling down, people start thinking about special gifts that they're going to give to family and stuff. And, there's nothing better than carving a Santa ornament and giving it away to somebody. So Brian's going to take us through his process here shortly. Just want to tell you a little bit about what we have coming up. Next weekend, we will not have a meeting. We're going to be off next week. We didn't get somebody scheduled for next week, but starting the 16th of September, we've got somebody scheduled every week, and I'm not going to go through the whole schedule, but we have somebody scheduled every week through the first week of November. So we've got quite the lineup already scheduled. We plan on doing this weekly through the end of the year. On the 16th, we got Robert Rangel that's coming in. Don't forget on the 23rd, Dave and I are going to be going out to Colorado Springs to the second CCA Carving the Rockies show. Make sure if you get a chance, you come out there, say hello. We'll have a table set up. We should be there with Wood Carving Academy. We'll have some hats. We'll have some stickers and stuff that we're giving away. I think Dave Stetson's going to be over there with us. He's going to have some things that he's going to be giving out. So make sure you try to come to that show, get a chance, get an opportunity to see some of the best carvings that you'll see in the United States as far as caricature carvings go. This is the only caricature carving show in the U.S. So try to make that. But if not, we will be broadcasting live from out there. So if you are not able to make it, make sure you join into this meeting, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be telling you all about what's going on out there. Want to let you all know about some shows that are going on. Coming up on the 16th of September, the Rain Tree Woodcarvers Show in Muncie, Indiana. They're having their show out there. If you're in the Muncie, Indiana area, make sure you go and check that out. Also, September 16th and 17th in Big Stone Gap, Virginia, which is in my neck of the woods. The CARVE Show and Sell is there in Big Stone Gap. So if you get a chance and you're in this area, make sure you go out, check that out. 16th and 17th of September. And I want to apologize. I'm a little out of my element today. I'm down in Knoxville, Tennessee, visiting my daughter who's off in college. So you'll notice that my stuff's not behind me. I'm in a hotel room today, so I apologize for that. But it's important for us to have these meetings, so I wanted to make sure I was able to hop on here and do that. Today, we have, again, Brian Doty with us. You can find his work on Instagram at Bees Knees Carvings. Again, Brian's coming to us from California. He has a camera set up that he's going to be doing a demonstration on. So, Brian, I appreciate you coming in and meeting with us today. And I'll go ahead and turn the meeting over to you.
So I've been carving for about a year and a half now, maybe a little bit over. I started December 2021. I got started because basically Instagram, just surfing through pictures there. I used to do a lot of drawings for cartoons, the ones that already existed, right? Never my own art. I didn't really like that. So I think, anyways, Instagram might have just suggested a few carvers, like their photos, right? I'm not sure. Am I allowed to say other people's names, or should I just say other
Sure.
carvers?
Yeah, go right ahead, Brian. That's
Okay.
fine.
Um, Nikki Reese was pretty much the first one that I saw. She was doing like these mush dudes, like little warriors. Um, so then that kind of started flooding my Instagram feed with different wood carvers. I found Doug Linker on YouTube, started doing his videos, and probably just like everybody else who started my time, started with Doug Linker. Um, but yeah, and then I believe about last Christmas, I did Blake, or I tried along with Blake's personal Christmas ornament. So his Santa Claus. Sorry guys, I'm nervous. um, but yeah, after that, I feel like it kind of boosted my confidence in my carvings. So kind of reached out to him a little bit, talking with him. Thought I'd offer to do this as a thank you to him personally in a way, because he fixed one of my knives that I was kind of crying over. Um, uh, but yeah, I didn't really think he'd do it because I'm kind of a nobody, right? Uh, and he jumped straight on it. So here I am. Let's see if this is a mistake or not. Hope not.
So can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So when I'm nervous, sometimes it helps me if somebody asks me a question. So what kind of knives do you carve with, and what are your favorite knives? So sometimes it helps if I'm nervous if somebody asks me a question.
Awesome. Great. I really appreciate that. And it did kind of just lower my blood temperature a little bit. One of my favorite knives, to give Blake another plug, is Blake Lunsford Helvey Special. It's his rough out. So I get my face out of there. That one I use quite a bit. I do a lot of detail with the rough out. I don't really use a small detail blade much, except for times when I feel like a little less confident with such a long blade going in there, or if the back end of the blade is going to catch somewhere else on the carving. I did just get a deep holler knife the other day, came in the mail. That one's pretty nice. I'm not quite used to the grind. It seems a little different. I don't know if every other knife I have has a different grind on it, but this one is supposed to be flat. And I do a lot of swoop cuts a little bit, so it kind of catches in there sometimes. And again, I'm not quite used to this knife yet. I just barely got it about 2 days ago. When it comes to detail, I use this knife here. I made the handle out of Paduke, and then there's an oak strip in there. I got the blade from Mountain Wood Carvers as a used knife. It was really great blade, but it was a little cockeyed in the handle, so it's kind of hard to use a little bit. So yeah, I just reset it in there, and that's actually kind of become a blade. After that, I use maybe this V tool here. This is another one of my favorites. It's really tight. I'm not sure how to get a good video over there or shot. I'm probably looking silly, huh? But anyways, it's a really tight V tool, so I can do quite a bit with it. Like I can get it up in here into the eyebrows with that a lot easier than I can with a dockyard tool for some reason. I don't know. But I like that one quite a bit. After that, I use like maybe a number 9 gouge quite often. I suppose I should just start carving then, yeah?
Great, thanks so much. That was interesting to see the different types of tools and gouges that you use.
Appreciate that. All right, let me go ahead and swing you guys over the top so kind of get you a better view, and then I'll start carving here. I carve pretty slow. Like I said, I'm pretty new, so I hope I'll get the carving somewhat finished. I'll do my best for you guys. I get off if I get off screen at any point, just someone let me know. So when I start, um, fine. Why you so loose? When I start, all I really do is start rounding the top. I don't.
And before you start, I'll ask another question.
sorry.
What kind of wood are you using
Yeah.
and what size of wood are you using?
Oh, I probably should have led with that, huh? This is basswood. I almost got to flip you guys over so you see properly. Yeah, this is basswood. It's an 1 3/4 inch square, and it's about an inch. No, sorry, 3.5 inches long, and I cut it on the corner. Let me go ahead and flip you guys over so you're not seeing everything upside down. There we go. That should be better for you guys. So I don't really have anything in mind other than I'm going to do a Santa when I start. I don't start like this is going to be the side the ball is going to be on. I kind of just let whatever happens decide that. Whatever I feel has the slope that I like for that side of the hat, right? So I just start chopping, knock off this corner. I come down pretty far. And I bring in the corners here, and this is where I kind of let it decide what side the ball is going to be on. For the most part, what makes me decide that has been whatever side ends up kind of being a lower or a softer slant. Don't know why, that's just what I like. Starting to see it over here. Come on now. There we go. I'm gonna try to soften this part back here a little bit. I don't go to the point where I think the hat is going to be done before I move on. I try to get everything set. And now actually I'm seeing the ball over here. So let's move it over here. So all I do really, I never really draw the same shape. And it's probably going to look terrible today. But it's all right. So this will be the ball here. This part I'm going to knock out. It's going to separate the floppy part of the hat from the ball. And I like the part of the hat that hangs over to be pretty high up on the head. Like I don't like a whole lot of space right here. To me, it just, and I don't go for realistic, but to me, it seems more realistic than when you have a lot up top. Like I would think it would kind of just lay right on top of the head. So I just bring it over and sometimes I'll go ahead and mark in the fur where that's going to go. Sometimes I'll go ahead and knock in this part. I'll drop that back part first. But usually I'll at least draw it on and then replace my lines. I also don't really care much for this corner right here. Not gonna work. And usually I'll start in right here. I'll pop out this little kind of triangle chip. And then I'll come in over the top. I'm pretty shaky today. I'll follow that line. I don't want to go too far over because I don't want to hurt my blade. I've broken a tip doing that. So I do it in stages. It's all right if you don't follow the line. Lines are just guidelines. Like I said, I don't have anything set in stone before I start carving. I know Halloween's coming up, but I carve a whole lot of Santa Clauses, mostly because that's what I'm comfortable with. So I figured it would be better for me to carve what I know for you guys than to carve something that I'm unfamiliar with. Normally it takes me quite a long time. Like I'll get everything roughed out and then I'll sit there and pick at it for a few hours or a couple days sometimes. I'm gonna come in with a flex cut V tool, um, and then just kind of separate the fur.
So are you starting at this point to think about where the rest, mapping out the rest of the face is at all, like the nose, or like, you know, I don't know if Dave Stetson's on, but are you sort of thinking about a third, and a third of like where the chin is and the nose is or anything?
Yes and no. As far as location, as far as size of the face, yeah, I definitely have that in mind. You want it to fit the size of wood, right? You don't want to have a really small face and the giant block of wood. I don't know what others know about like the Fibonacci sequence and all that stuff. I know I've heard the 5 eyes and whatnot, but I just do what looks right to me, you know? My top of the head is always going to be right at the bottom of this part right here, at this fold. Can you guys see that little? The top of the head is always going to be right here for me. And my Santa Claus has hair in my head. He's not bald. He's got some hair up there. So the top of the head may really be right here. And then I'm gonna probably drop my eyes right about there. That there is going to determine the rest of the face size. And it's going to be equal. So this will be about the middle of the nose or the middle of the eyes here. And then here's going to be the bottom of the nose. I don't worry too much about this one because I always do a beard, but I like to imply a chin at least. So the chin is going to be about right here. I hardly ever actually measure because no face is the same. So I don't try to get too caught up in that. As long as it looks right in the end, I'm happy. Even if it doesn't look right in the end, I'm happy. Did that answer your question? I'm sorry if I rambled on too much.
No, I just wondered if you had a basic map of Santa in your head as you were going, and where the basic, the face parts were, as you were going, even though you hadn't sort of penciled it out, that's all.
Okay, well, I hope I at least answered your question and didn't just ramble too much.
Absolutely.
Okay, and that just kind of sets the line. I'll deal with it later with the knife, because everything is going to get kind of sized in as I bring in the face. It also feels very weird talking to myself, but that's okay. Okay. So from here, I basically drop in the front of the face where I start the nose and the eyes. I usually forget my kind of order of operations almost every time, so everything usually comes out different, yet the same.
Hey, Brian, while you're carving there, do you have carving groups out in your area that you live in? Do you carve with other carvers?
Oh my
Or?
goodness. Now I wish I did. I've looked, but most I could find was something out in Fresno. See, I'm in Merced. It's basically dead center of California. Fresno is about 60 miles away. There's something out in Sacramento, but that's about 120 miles away. There is a show coming up in, I want to say Carmel or something like that, somewhere in the Bay Area in September, or just before the CCA show. I might try and make it out there, but that would be, other than this right now, that would be my only experience sitting around with other carvers. Yeah, I've never met another carver in person, so no, there's, to my knowledge, no carving groups.
So we'll just say that we
Sorry, one thing about
with the viewers that we have, hopefully there's some people in that area that'll watch this video and maybe reach out to you. Always a good opportunity to start a club out there. So
yeah, that'd be cool. Like, even if I could just get my friends to sit around and carve, that'd be nice. Okay, so from here,
I've found it helped me a lot.
I'm sorry?
I found it helped me a lot carving with other people. I've
I
started in
bet.
2018.
Started in 2018?
Yeah, I started in 2018.
Okay, and where are you from?
New York,
New
about
York.
40 miles north of New York City. And I joined a
Okay,
club
that's
that's
nice.
about 42 miles away from me, but I make the trip every 3 times a month. I enjoy it. The only club that's close only meets during the day, and I still work. I got 2 more years before I retire.
hey, Brian, say again the area that you live in. I had somebody ask where it was, so maybe there's some people out there after all that might reach out to you.
It's Merced, California.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And then we also have a
Yeah, it's
question in
pretty
the
much right in
chat.
the center of the Central Garden.
We have a question in the chat. Somebody's asking about your thumb guard. Is that just vet tape, or is that something that you bought, or something you've made?
A little bit of all three. What it is guard tex and one of these. It's just a kind of like a finger caught, I guess you'd call them, right? Just a cut resistant protective slip. So I put that over the top, or I put the guard text over the top of that, just to kind of reinforce this. And because sometimes, and I try not to, but you know, you catch your thumb a little bit. But just to reinforce it there. Also, this material kind of slips on the top of my knife, so it gives a little bit of grip and a little bit of protection. Same thing with my glove here. I do this because I kind of got skinny hands, yet long fingers. So it kind of pulls this finger in tight for me, so that way I can draw a little bit. I draw left-handed. I just made another little thing to slip over my thumb to reinforce that, because I press on my blade quite a bit. But yeah, I got both of those, I believe, from Amazon. If anybody's looking for those. Just a little sun guard and some guard text. Now you don't want to go on. All right. Kind of work. Not really, but it's good enough. Okay, so before I start rounding off the bottom for the beard, I'll usually kind of get the face at least a little bit set in. For the most part, like I build from the top down, right? The hat will determine the face, and then the face determines the beard. And to do that, I obviously round off slightly here. I come back in with a number 9, and I follow this line. I go right down the center. Go with a little bit of a slant, but not too much. This should be good enough to start. Like I say, I dig in deeper as I go. One thing I do though, I make sure to keep my center line up through it. So I kind of need to fix those things, but that's good for now. Okay, and then I usually take a dot right about in the center here, and the same distance from the center line over there. I don't know if you guys can see it very well, but the deep part of the number 9 groove runs right through here. I usually put my second dot right above it. Same thing over here. Make sure they're about even. And this is just going to represent the eyes. And I'm not really going to do anything with these for quite a while, actually. This is kind of mostly just going to get it in my mind. I think I'm okay with that. It looks sloppy, but it's okay. I think I'm okay with it. And then I like to put the ball of the hat kind of over the top of the hair instead of off to the side. So when I cut that part off, I come in up at an angle instead of straight to the side. Um, now I'm gonna go ahead and chop off these corners. Um, size.
And you may have said earlier, Brian, is that local basswood for you, or did you order that from somewhere?
No, it's ordered. I get most of everything carving related from either mountain wood carvers or tree line. The only stores around here is up in Sacramento, Woodcraft. I'd like to make a trip up there one day, but just haven't yet. I know a lot of people get their stuff from like Moore or something like that, or Heineke. I haven't tried them yet. I hear good things. But I pretty much just get my stuff from Mountain Wood Carvers. There is like the big box stores that has basswood, but it's really hard. That's what I started with. But then once I placed my first order with I want to say Mountain Wood Carvers, I was so much more pleased with that. Okay. Now usually I sit here and stare at this thing for a long period of time and try and decide how it's going to go. And I'm going to try and not do that because I know I'm live. I'm really not happy with this right here though. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in with a V tool. This is just an OCCT, 1/4" V. I'm not sure the degree, but it's kind of soft in the point, so it doesn't well, I'm sure you know what I mean. It's kind of soft in the center. That flex cut V tool I was using earlier gives you more of a pointed V. I'm just gonna go ahead and bring this part in a little bit. A little happier. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this side in too a little. And with every carving I do, there's about 1,000 points of me hating it, and then it gets to the point where I really like it.
I think what we talked about, Brian, before the meeting when we met, if he doesn't get finished with the demonstration today, what we'll do is we'll get him to send us pictures after the carving is finished so that we can post that on social media. So hopefully he'll get quite a ways with this demonstration, but he knows he's under some time constraints. So just be aware that he may not get done, but we will post pictures out on social media after he gets it finished.
Blake, could he talk a little bit about, I know you showed some pictures of his Santas in the promotion. I mean, how does he finish his Santas in the painting, et cetera? I mean, can you talk a little bit about that as he's going here?
Sure. Brian, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. So usually I'll do the pre-treatment with lately at least Minwax 209 and then some burnt umber to give it a little tint. I've tried the boiled linseed oil in the past. I still got some, but lately I like the Minwax 209. I used really thin acrylics. Basically one tiny drop of paint to a whole lot of water. I like to see the grain come through. I like the kind of almost antique look that it gives without giving it an antiquing solution. Because I tried the antiquing solution in the past, and it's just way too easy for me to overdo. I know a lot of people have good luck with it, but I think they just probably know something I don't. Suppose I
Do you have
probably
a
should.
favorite brand of acrylic paints or colors, or maybe you could do that in follow-up?
I don't really have a favorite brand. I do use a lot of folk art. But I have Craftsmart, I have Apple Barrel. I don't really notice a whole lot of difference with it other than maybe this one's a little thicker than that one. Grays, no matter what, when they water down, no matter what brand it is that I've found so far that I've tried at least, they separate. They'll start looking a little green. So if you take your time painting, you're gonna have to keep mixing as you go in your little palette at least. Okay. So I got the nose kind of blocked in. From here, my nose comes out as far about the middle of the eye. I usually will try and come out with the knife just a little bit past that part. And this is probably the most I've talked in quite a long time. So if I don't answer your question, just yell at me until I do. I'm sorry. So I leave the notches just over the top here. Like I'll cut the facet out down to here, and then this is where my notch will come up from my nose. My cheeks I usually leave pretty high on my Santa Claus. I've done a few other things than Santa Claus lately. I've done a couple of Draculas, Frankenstein, and a hippie, and honestly, almost everyone starts out the same except for the hat. For my hippie, I just dropped the cheeks a little bit lower. Wasn't so happy, or wasn't so round. I mean, he's a happy guy. I mean, yeah, that's ugly. Okay. So from there, I'm not liking this. I should chose a smaller piece of wood. But from there, I come in. That's the ripple over the top of that little notch. I don't necessarily cut it out. I just do it with the V tool. And I follow this line. But when I place it on the line, I'm kind of on this side of it as I come up. Um, I I don't really follow straight down the center. I like to push the hair back from the face with the V tool. Where are we at on time?
We're about 20 minutes till 4 Eastern time. So we probably got another 35 minutes or so to go. So you're in good shape.
Okay. Okay, so then there's those. Just leave them a little sloppy for now. That's fine. I come in with a number 7 over the top of the eye sockets, and I kind of roll it back a little bit as I do that to create the temple. This might be a little early doing this, actually. go ahead and finish off the mound for the mouth.
If you ever want to try your antiquing again on your carvings and you think you got it on there too heavy, you can take a wet paintbrush and go over the top of it and it'll clean it off quite a bit.
Okay, wet paintbrush.
I had a large carving that I got a little too carried away, got ahead of myself, and I just took a wide regular artist brush and wet it down and cleaned it up to where I liked it. If you want to try it.
Okay, yeah, I'll probably come back to it at some point. Yeah, I mean, I got it, so why just let it sit around? But yeah, when I did the antiquing solution, it just took off way too much, and it looked kind of dirty. Forgetting my center line here.
I use a terry cloth towel too. It kind of gets down and scrubs it out a little bit more.
Okay. Now, this isn't up sloppy. Not really liking where we're at. I'm digging the ice. Yeah, I don't know, I must have done something different. I'm not too happy with the facial structure here. Doesn't even look like a face. That's all right, I guess. This looks so bad.
It's okay, Brian. Just keep going. Sometimes the ones you think are the worst turn out the best. So
Yeah, about 3 days from now, it'll turn out okay. When it's in the fireplace. I'm just playing. I never burn any of my carvings.
I've had to do rhinoplasties on a couple of mine.
Yeah, I might have to come back on here and redeem myself because this is looking pretty sad.
So how do you accomplish happy when you're carving a Santa, Brian? I mean, are there certain things that you try to incorporate in that carving to make him look happy? Like turning up the mustache and things like that. What's your approach as far as that goes?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I can show you here. Like, to me, this mustache, the upturned mustache, looks a lot happier than what else we got? Than this guy here, as far as the mustache, if we're talking mustache happy. But I think the fact that I set the eyes just a little bit higher than the center of that deep groove from the number 9 kind of brings it up a little bit, makes it a little happy. I honestly don't know. I wish I could answer that question, Blake. I really do. But they just kind of come out looking happy, apparently.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that a lot of new carvers struggle with is trying to figure out how you take just a face carving and turn it into happy or create expression, the expression you're trying to do. You have to realize that it affects cheeks and the eyes and the squinting of the eyes and all that kind of thing. So, yeah, that's
Yeah,
definitely a process.
noticed that I noticed the eyebrows too. That's where I messed up. I did not set the nose. I noticed that the eyebrows, if you have them lower, that obviously makes them look a little bit more perturbed than if you come up higher with a little bit of an arch. When I accidentally make it too straight, he doesn't look too happy. So I'll bring it up with just a little bit of an arch. So yeah, I guess that's one way I can answer your question is the eyebrows as far as the arch. Okay, so for this part here, um, I use that V tool that I was showing you earlier, a really tight V. I think it's probably about like a 70, 75 degree. I come on the side of it and I'm pretty much only doing the face right now. I'm not going to do the nose yet. I just come straight up into the eye. And then here I come straight up into the eye. Probably should have practiced talking to myself more. And then now I'll come over and get the slope of the nose. And just like everything else that will change over time, this is just kind of getting it set.
Another question, Brian, what's your method of keeping your tools sharp? So do you just use a strop or do you have a power strop or a Burke system? What's your process?
Um, I mostly strop my tools by hand. I do have a power strop. Recently got a 1x30 belt sander with a disc sander attachment, a 6-inch disc sander. So I threw a leather strop on that, leather belt on that, so I can have a power strop. I took off the disc sander and I put on a buffing wheel. So I do that for my gouges and stuff. I prefer to do my knives by hand still. As with everything, I'm still learning on that, you know. We're always a student of every trade. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I made my own strops. They're fun little project. I just got leather scraps from the big box hobby stores and some basswood. Um, Here's one of them here. Just glued on some leathers. I have compound on this side, and then I buff it off on that side. Um, Another little strap I made. I come up over the top of the eyebrow. Bring that in a little bit. Kind of gives the implication of the eyebrows for now. Tear out. It's okay. So it tore out. Usually when that happens, I'll dig down the rest of the face and just reset everything. Everything else becomes smaller. I don't think I really have time for that, so I'll just keep going. But I don't know if I've ever actually really given up on a carving. I set them down for months sometimes, and then I come back to it. And if I wasn't doing this live, this probably would be one that I would set down for a few months. I guess I'm a little more nervous than what I thought.
Now, Brian, you said that you do some drawing, or you started out doing some drawing stuff. Is that correct?
Yeah, but it's just for fun.
How do you find that
like I drew
helping
sponge.
you? Do you find that helping you in carving, or how do you use that for helping your carving?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I mean, yeah, I took 4 years of art in high school. I never did the college thing with it. But whatever I learned in high school art definitely helped out there. Um, and yeah, I used to do like a lot of cartoons. Like I did SpongeBob, Invader Zim. But I did a couple portraits as well. So I think that's why I really gravitated towards face carving, at least Santa Claus. I don't know, I just really like it, you know. I should do a full body thing. Done a couple.
Have you ever drawn
I
out any?
suppose after
Have you ever drawn out any of the faces that you want to carve and started that way, or just always freehanding it?
I have a couple drawings not next to me. I think they're in a different book. But I do have a couple drawings that I want to eventually carve, if that answers your question. I had a coworker who had a very iconic and distinct look to him, and eventually I'd like to carve him and give it to him. But yeah, his mustache kind of came down here, and then on both sides it comes down. He had no hair there, and then he braided his little hairs that came down from his mustache. So it's kind of biker style, right?
Nice.
He used to build motorcycles. He's a mechanic. He's a great guy. I'd like to repay him for stuff he taught me when I worked with him.
Love to see that when you get done with it, man. That sounds really cool.
I'd love to see it when I get done with it too. I'm not even sure if I'll ever start it, but I definitely want to do it.
Well, it's one of those pieces you can start up and pick up a couple months later, and then pick up a couple months later, and
Oh yeah, every one of my pieces are just like that. Yeah, some days, man, I take sometimes 3 days on one carving. I'll sit there and just pick at it and pick at it and pick at it periodically. I never sit there constantly for 3 days. That's crazy. But yeah, I know I like it. It kind of, other than right now, helps me shut off the brain. Nice and relaxing. But yeah, part of the reason I kind of decided to just go with this rather than drawing was I felt like I could only get so far with the drawing. I wasn't good at color, I wasn't good at depth. I just did like outlines and stuff. And was always too afraid to go further. Um but with this it's pretty nice. Who cares if it comes out bad? I do. And the mouth for me, just a little bit wider than the nose. All I ever do, if I ever do a mouth, is just a bottom lip. And I normally don't do it this early. I just don't think I'm going to get to everything on time. But I take my detail knife and I do little rolling cuts for the bottom lip. A very light pressure and just roll the knife. And then that kind of implies the bottom lip there. Get out there. Well, if you go too deep, he looks a little kind of upset, childlike, like he's sticking out his tongue, like he's all upset. And so go soft there, right on the top of the mustache. I just do a stop cut, and then I open that very slightly. If you do too much, he kind of looks like he's a little surprised. You used to think of it as a ho 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 look, but he just looks surprised.
Hey, I had somebody ask in the chat there, do you know what size number 9 that is? Is it like a 3/8 inch, or do you know?
Yeah, I believe it's a 1/4 inch. It does look like a 3/8, but I think it's yeah, it's a 1/4 inch.
And Brian, we're right at an hour in. If you want to just kind of talk through what your process would be from here as far as finishing that guy up. Like I said earlier, we'll come back and post pictures of the finished carvings. Everybody can kind of see how it turned out. But tell us a little bit about what you would do from here to to work in the beard, make sure that the mustache has texture and stuff like that. What is your process from this point?
Okay, so eventually he'll look like this guy. This is kind of what I was trying to get to. From here, I basically just kind of make everything stand out a little bit and fit to the other facial features. I'll bring in the nose slightly on the side here. I come in with a number 7, and then I just come up the side. I roll it in slightly, and then I'll come up here with the number 7, right? And then that gets you the shape of the nose there. So that's how I kind of get that. If I'm not entirely happy with that, I'll come inside in here with the 3/8 number 9. This one's a Stubai. And I'll make this part just a little bit tighter, just to give it a little bit more shape. I like to have a bridge on the nose, so a little bit of shape to it, right? I don't want it just flat. I like to have a point up top or in the center. Usually for the eyes lately, no matter what I do, whether they're open or squinty, I come in with this tight V tool that I've been talking about, and I'll just run underneath the bottom of the eyebrow. That kind of sets the eyelid. Um, After that, I will follow that line that I started with and with my knife. And that's where I give it the eyelid shape. Um, if you are able to give it a little bit of an arch right here, that's kind of part of where I guess answering Blake's question would come in, to where that's a little bit how I get the happy squint. If he arches, put a little arch right there. For the mustache, I come in with a number 7. I want to say no, it's a 6, about an 1/8 inch right here. I go towards the nose to kind of just deepen this pocket here. I'll come in about this way with a number 7, 1/8 inch. And then that kind of gives me that shape in there. Um, as far as detailing beards and stuff, going for the hair, I use probably about 3, maybe 4 tools. A lot of times I'll start either with a big old 5/8 soft V, or I will start with that number 7 I showed you, this number 7 here. I work to a tighter curve, and then eventually I'll probably come in with this soft tight V, soft tight. That doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean. And then that'll kind of pop everything back out. I try not to just dig in and follow the lines that I created with, like, say, the V tool or the number 9 or something like that. I try to do crossovers. If I just dig in and then just make everything deeper, it kind of tends to look like dreadlocks to me a little bit. So this to me makes a little bit more sense. For the eyebrows, sometimes I just paint them in, sometimes I'll carve them. Looks like this guy here, I went ahead and carved him. I'm gonna focus a little bit. For this one here, I just painted him on. It was a little hard to tell, but either way, I think they look nice. For the skin, I don't really paint the skin. I let the Minwax burnt umber kind of take the skin, and I'll do probably about 3 to 4 coats of that Minwax burnt umber on the actual face part. I do it all over the carving to get the depth, but yeah, the skin is Minwax 209 and burnt umber. For the blush part is crimson paint, and I thin that very much, almost to like a very, very, very light pink. And there's probably about 3 to 4 coats on there. I put it on to in almost every color I do too. I put it on to where you can barely see it, and then I let it dry, and you can see it now. It's kind of strange. But yeah, when I put this red on, it's almost hard to notice. And then about an hour or 2 later, the red kind of pops out. Maybe it's just my eyes being wonky. Who knows? A lot of times I won't ever use plain white. I'll use light buttermilk. About 3 to 4 colors in the beard there. I do nutmeg to get the depth. Some sort of a gray, and then some sort of white over the top. Here's the hippie that like seems to like a lot because he posted it about 4 times. Um, so here's my hippie. I had a buddy of mine ask me for some carvings along this line. So this is the first of many. If I'm gonna do a signature, I'll burn it on with my wood burner. I just have a really cheap wood burner, turn it all the way up, and it burns about as fast as I write. If we're running out of time, I'm not too sure what else to say. That's sealing it. I do Mod Podge. It's a acrylic sealer. With the Mod Podge acrylic sealer. Just a spray. Really light coat, because if you do too much, it'll put a glare on it, and I'm not too huge on glare. For the eyes, sometimes I use triple thick to get the glare in the eye. I'm not sure if I have any right next to me. I don't think I do. Oh, I do. I almost fell over. Don't laugh at me. This one here has triple thick on the eyes, so that way the light actually catches instead of the white dot. This was a little Harley Davidson one I made for my dad when I first started. This was probably like my third or fourth Santa Claus.
All right, Brian.
Any other questions or anything else
Yeah,
I should talk about?
We're right at 10 after. We'll give everybody just a minute more to maybe throw some questions out there in the chat. While they're doing that, I just want to say thanks for coming on. And, you know, you and I have talked quite a bit through the last year, I guess, and done an exchange. And your work is really great. I can't wait to see where you go. I know you're like probably the rest of us, you know, your passion is now wood carving, and I'm just interested to see how you're going to grow and you know, move into doing full body and stuff like that. So I look forward to that. I appreciate you taking time out to come in and meet with us today. I failed at the beginning, but I do want to go ahead and remind you all there's some workshops out there that are available. Today, Dave Stetson started his workshop. So hopefully some of you are participating in that. That was on wood carving an angel. Dave's also going to have a workshop coming up in October on carving a Santa. So if you didn't get in the one that he started today, make sure you reach out to Dave and get in that class in October. I've taken the Santa classes before in the past, and you'll be happy that you took that class, and make sure you check that out. Saw Dale Green hop in the meeting a few minutes ago. Dale has a class getting ready for Halloween that's coming up starting September the 30th on carving witch hazel. And I think he posted some videos of his carving out there on Facebook today. If you get a chance, go out and check out Dale Green's witch hazel out there and contact him and sign up for that class. Again, that's on the 30th of September. Janet Cordell has a class starting on the 8th of September. That's on wood carving a line in a tree. And if you don't know Janet's work, her work is fantastic. She does some realistic type stuff. So all of this information can be found out on Wood Carving Academy. On their website, they have a workshop area there that you can go in and see what they have to offer. If you want to sign up, again, you have to contact the instructor and they'll get you signed up and tell you about the materials that you'll need. But if you're looking for some workshops to do on your own time, make sure you consider subscribing to them. It's woodcarvingacademy.com. You can do 1 month, 3 months, or a year. There's quite a bit of past workshops that's been recorded that's out there. A lot of great carving information available to you. So make sure you go out and check that out. Don't forget that Dwayne Gosnell does Widow Wednesdays. I think Chris Hammock's probably going to be doing some more barflies down the road. There's a lot of opportunity to get out there and get involved. Alec Lacoste has a wood carving school. You can Google him and go and sign up for his school. So again, a lot of opportunity. You don't have to necessarily meet in person to be able to take some classes. So make sure you try to go out and check out those things. Support these carvers, take some of the classes. and you'll be glad you did. You'll see that your wood carving will drastically improve. Again, thanks today, Brian, for coming on. Again, next week we'll be off. We won't have a meeting next week. Starting on the 16th, though, we're going to do meetings every week. I've got something scheduled through the first week in November. So September, October, beginning of November, we're all set. I'll be working to schedule more meetings towards the end of the year. Make sure you try to get out to that CCA show out in Colorado Springs, September 23rd. Hopefully we'll see you out there. And if not, we'll broadcast live from there. So thank you all for joining us today. I know it's Saturday. You're taking time out of your summer or what's left of the summer to come in and join us, and we appreciate that. We hope to see you all on the 16th again with Robert Rangel. He'll be coming in and talking to us about his carving journey. He does some great stuff. Look forward to having him on. So again, Brian, thanks for coming in. And this has been the International Association of Wood Carvers. And he'll edit around all this, so don't feel like you gotta be perfect.
Yeah, so it's you guys many takes as you want, and I'm going to shut up and mute myself, and you are fine. You're unmuted, and you can start whenever you want.
Okay. I'm Brian. Welcome to International Association of Wood Carvers. And I'm out. Do you want me to like kind of give a plug for myself?
Yeah,
I was
really
kind of
would.
just hoping to say the least amount of words possible. And
I
then you guys
understand.
go
Well,
straight to
plug
my hand.
yourself, because that's a big part of what we want to do with with this group is kind of plug other carvers, and kind of send some traffic to your Instagram stuff, to people look at your work and to be able to, hey, I like what Brian's doing. How do you do that? And if there's a question, they might reach out to you on Instagram, or they might just watch through a few more times and look at what you're doing. It's self-promotion for you.
Yeah.
So we'll do it again if you want, and if you don't, you don't have to. It's up to you.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm Brian. Blah, 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 blah. You're gonna get great.
That's fine, man. Hey, we put those at the end.
Really
yeah, we can definitely add that to the end and add a little humor to the meeting.
I feel like I'm turning tomato red.
Perfect. That's great,
That's
man.
all I got.
Yeah, we can go with that.
Yep, that's good.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Let me turn the recording off. Stop recording.